What's up, YouTube? So I wanted to make this quick video right here about the difference between a good voltmeter, the Klein, and an okay voltmeter that'll just kind of get you by if you need to save the extra 30 bucks. So I was kind of surprised that the Klein was only like 35 bucks more. It was on sale at Home Depot and I price matched at Toolmart, so it came out to like 117 and change. This one right now at Harbor Freight, the CM610A, was 89 bucks. This is the new-ish CL800. It replaced several models from Klein. These are both True RMS clamp meters that do AC and DC amperage, along with AC DC volts. They both have min max. They both have auto ranging. They both do ohms, diodes, and continuity, along with hertz or frequency and duty cycle. They both come with work lights built into the top, here and there. There you go, you can see it. And yeah, the one thing that the Klein has that the Harbor Freight does not is a temp probe, which I find very handy for calibrating like my digital barbecue pellet smoker and stuff like that. Also checking, other thermometer readings that you might need, like on motors, ESCs for the RC guys, all that kind of stuff. So they both have min max. Like I said, they both can be zeroed out. So one of the biggest differences that I noticed when I first turned these two on was the accuracy of the amperage reading on AC when I put it over the lead wire to the alternator on my Jeep. So you can see right off the bat, the Klein zeroes out pretty quickly. The Ames Harbor Freight does not. It's almost at half an ohm. We're on DC amperage. This guy, the amperage is a dual setting. You have to switch it from AC to DC by hitting select. So now we're in DC mode. So it's at a quarter. This one's at 0.4. Now I know these are not going to be exact readings because it uses the clamp, which measures the magnetic offput of whatever wire you're measuring. But even if you can immediately zero it back out. And the Klein now, let's stay in DC mode. If we zero it out in DC mode, see the straight bar, it's zeroed out, it stays right at 0, 0.1, etc. So in DC mode on this one, if we zero this one out, 0.2, 0.3, 0.00, and then what I found it actually doing was that it'll start to climb, and you can see how it's hopping around a lot more. The Harbor Freight Ames one, it hops around quite a bit more. It doesn't zero in on the voltage or the amperage nearly as quickly or as consistently as the Klein does. The Klein will give you a much more accurate, steady reading. So let's switch it over, plug it into the battery so you guys can see what it does when we measure the volts. And then everything's set up over here on the Jeep fender with the positive terminals plugged in. One thing I wanted to call out between the two real quick that might not be a big difference to you, but to me, I kind of like it. On the Klein, the leads are solid color, all black, no mistaking hot and common. Whereas on the Ames, most of it is actually gray, and that's true for the hot lead too, if you noticed earlier in the video. So just something to think about. They're both pretty sturdy. The Ames has a little bit nicer contoured feel to it, a little bit thicker, but they're both rated the same. They're both 18 gauge, Cat 2, rated for 1,000 volts. So definitely enough to fry something. Anyways, though, looking at the meters, so the Klein, I kind of like this when it's just set straight to DC volts. We got the straight bar over here, because it's a combo setting. On the voltage setting, you have to select AC or DC with the orange button. Same thing with the Ames too. It's combo setting, select AC or DC before you get started. You should always zero everything out before you plug anything in. It's a step that kind of bugs me that a lot of people forget. But you know, it is what it is. So right now the Ames, the internal noise of the reader is bouncing right around 1.2, 1.3, 1.1 millivolts. The Ames doesn't actually go down into millivolts automatically, which I don't really like that. I like that the Klein does that for you. It goes right down and it gets down to a whole number if you want to look at millivolts, which is kind of cool. If you wanted to do that on here, you actually have to click it 4 times and go into millivolts, and then it OLs out on you. It's saying there are no millivolts. So that's kind of annoying. I don't really like that. I like that the Klein just automatically goes into it for you. It's a better auto range. If you wanted to go in to volt mode, there we go. You just click range again, and then you can actually see all the decimal points. So we're right there at 0.001. So you actually get a whole decimal point more when you have it set to auto. So it gets right back down to the millivolts again. See, that's kind of nice. I like that. It's actually a cool feature. So let's plug them both in to the old battery here. Should get up to, oh, got to put this back into auto. See how fast the Ames does it. 12.5. That was pretty quick. Now let's stick in the Klein and see what it does. It switches, auto range is 12.5 right away, pretty quick. Oop, lost the connection. Let's stick that in there a little bit better, because what we're going to do now is we're going to turn on the ignition, and I want to show you guys something that I noticed where it kind of hops around. If there's no voltage change coming off the alternator, like as it is right now, they're both dead set 12.5, which is pretty solid. But I want to actually show you guys what it does when the voltage is jumping around a little bit, when the amperage is jumping around a little bit, which is when the engine's on and the alternator is actually cranking over. So let's go do that, and you'll see the inrush voltage. So let's set these both to max, and you'll see what the voltage spikes to, or drops to, I guess. But it should actually drop when we start the car. The amps will drop too. If we were measuring the feed coming off the alternator, you'd see the amperage coming off the battery. You'd see the inrush current going to the starter motor. But we're gonna actually measure the min voltage coming off the battery, because the voltage is gonna drop when we crank over the starter motor. And I'm curious to see what that looks like on film. So let's do that real fast. And there we go. You can see that they both captured the min voltage. It dropped to 10.6 on this one, 10.78 on this one. So in order to test the accuracy, we'd really need a third multimeter to tell us what's going on. And but that's okay. That's okay. It's all right. So 13.91. So that's interesting. So on the Ames, when you switch between min, max, there's 3 different settings: min, max, min, and a combo setting where you actually can capture both the min and the max maybe at the same time. So that might be interesting to do that, but you really only need to test one at a time typically. So like right now, 13.91. Mins 10.78. That it saved that from before, which is nice because we haven't turned it off. Whereas, oh, look at that, the Ames seems to have lost its setting. Ah, that's kind of annoying. So if you wanted to reset the Klein, you have to power it off We can do that. Power it off, go back to volts, select DC, do the min, 13.87, max 13.88. So let's put them back into regular mode. Get out of min max. And this is what I was talking about before. See how the Klein dead set 13.85, 13.86. It's only fluctuating just a little tiny bit. Also, I like the letters a lot more on the Klein, a lot bigger, bolder. And then also, let's test out the backlight right now too, so you can really see the difference here in what you're getting. Yeah, the Klein is it's just so much better for 35 more bucks. It's just a better tool. See how and then this guy, see, he finally settled down. He's at 13.89. He's in manual mode. Let's get him back into auto. 13 point, see how it's jumping around all over the place? It just doesn't really give you a lot of confidence in the reading. It even dropped down to 13.80 right there. That's not accurate. It's just not what you want to see in your multimeter. It's just not what you want to see. I do like that the Ames, that the top light turned off because it knows you're in voltage mode, whereas the Klein, the top light stays on. That's just personal preference. It's LED, doesn't draw very much current. It's not going to do anything. So let's do a little test here. Let's set this to the min. Set this to the, oh, and look at that. The light actually turned off on us. That's kind of dumb. So you can see here the min. So from the fluctuation in the internal noise of the reader, we have this on hold. It 13.82, 13.80. So that could be, yeah, 13 point. Now they're down to 13.77. Wow. So that's just from the noise of the guts of the meter. The board on the Ames just isn't. It's not built as robustly. 13.87 on the max. 13.85. Now if we go back to regular auto, see, it's jumping around again. It's jumping around a lot, and you can see it in the numbers. It just doesn't give you a lot of confidence. And unfortunately, it's kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying. All right, so that's the voltage, and you can, voltage is pretty standard. Voltage is the, think about it like PSI, right? It's the PSI of the electricity going through like a pipe essentially, or the cable in this instance. Now amps is flow rate. That's how much electricity is going through. Volts is pressure, sort of, and amps is flow or volume, in a bad comparison, but that's how it was explained to me by my high school physics teacher, so I'm going to explain it to you. If you don't like it, I don't care. It doesn't matter. All right, so let's switch these both over to amps. And so one thing about the Klein is that amps is one setting, so you have to go into DC mode by hitting select. On the Ames, there's two amps. There's amp AC and amp DC. So we're just gonna go straight into amps DC. And I noticed this. I'm not sure exactly what this means. Maybe someone in the comments can answer this. With the leads plugged in down here, it's actually giving us an amperage rating, 7.05 amps with the leads. I'm not sure how it's doing that. I'm not sure what that means, because there's nothing going through the clamp. And when you unplug one of the leads, it switches over into this bar light turns on, and then it's giving us a near zero reading. So with the lead plugged in, it's actually measuring maybe like the amperage potential off of the battery, or maybe like an amperage delta off the battery somehow. I'm not sure. That could just be, I'm not sure. Maybe someone could explain that to me. I don't know. But anyways, we'll start measuring some amps here, and you'll see the same thing before with what I was talking about, where the numbers kind of just dance around on us and doesn't really give you a very confidence-inspiring reading. So you can see now, without zeroing them out, they're both at 0.3, 0.33. But look how much more steady, stable this number is compared to this number. So now, if we zero out the Ames, and we zero out the Klein, 0.00, this one continues to dance around. And what I actually noticed, if I left this on 0.00, zeroed out for a while, this number actually would build. It would actually get bigger and bigger, which it's doing it right now. It's gonna start going up. It might even get to 1/10 of an amp. It's in the negative. This is still 0.01. Yeah, just not a good board. Not a good board. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set them both to max, and I'm going to put them on the alternator wire to give you a little reading here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, max. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0.03. Yeah, not stellar, Mr. Ames. That's not good. So yeah, kind of surprising. Min. Let's see what the min is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 15.34. Let's go to min. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go, 16.44. So it's saying there's negative amp draw, which makes sense. So there's a polarity on these. Depending on which way you clamp the wire, the number's going to be positive or negative. So if you clamp it this way, it's going to be one number. You clamp it this way, it's going to be another number. Yeah, I wish you guys could actually see the numbers dancing around. Actually, you know what? Maybe. Hold on, I'm gonna go handheld here. So with the Klein on there, it's gonna be upside down, but it's 15.34. Oh, we got it on min. Max. Off. There we go. Now it's dancing around. You can see 14. Now the amperage coming out the alternator is gonna be, it's gonna move. That's normal. That's not that unusual. But you can see it's moving, but it's not moving all that much. Right? So we have a max of 15, a min of 13, 12, 12, 8, 9. That's not so bad. 1506. Alright, now let's see what it looks like with the Ames. Okay, now this guy, put it back into regular mode, no min max. Get it on in there. There you go. Woo! All the way down to 13. See that difference? It's a huge difference. Alright, now let's compare. Let's compare these two. Alright, so now that we got some numbers saved into our min-max little memory bank, you can see here, let's focus up. So, because we switched the way it was clamped on, so now the numbers are reversed. Negative 0.13, 1506 is the max. Negative 0.18, 16.76. I believe this number. This number makes more sense to me. This just looks like volatility and the little coils that are wound up in here inside the clamp. the sensor, whatever the calculations are. True RMS. This number seems more reliable. Anyways, I hope this video helped you guys out. For the 35 extra bucks, get the Klein name brand. Pretty sure these have a lifetime warranty. Also, I love the little holder for one of the stick probes here, so you can use two hands instead of jerking yourself around trying to three-hand everything. All the buttons on it feel a lot better. The numbers are a lot larger. You know, they both have the light and all that kind of stuff. Oh, I wanted to do the temp probe. I wanted to do this. Hold on, let me take off the little pincher grabber thing here, so we can plug this guy in. Positive to positive. Let's see here. There we go. Switch it over. I wanted to just show you guys this because I think it's cool. So we're set to Fahrenheit. It's 85 degrees. Let's just, I don't know, touch something hot on the engine, see what it does, yeah? So even as we get closer to the engine, it's getting warmer. Let me hold this steady. 100 degrees. Look at that. Look at it go. That's on the valve cover. Let's do part of the radiator, huh? Oh yeah, look at that. Look at it work. That's on the top of the radiator, so maybe probably not even the best spot. Probably could definitely get some more heat out of it somewhere else. Let's go on the, let's go down here off the fan. Or here, how about the feed tube to the radiator? That's not exactly cold, is it? $128. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I can keep my hand right where it is, so that seems about right to me. That seems pretty darn accurate. It's pretty neat. It's pretty nifty. I mean, it is kind of a delicate little piece of shit. It's just this little metal contact. Let me see if I can. It's just this little metal contact, two wires soldered together. I guess if you ever broke it, you could solder it back in. It's not wanting to focus on that. Anyways, kind of fun. I plan on using that a whole bunch to measure some stuff and some things. But yeah, spend the extra 35 bucks. It's worth it. I just wanted to add something to the video. I just realized I had a great idea. I have a hot wire right here that's not all bundled together into a harness going up to my big 50-inch light bar. It's pulling about 200 watts, so 17 amps. I just did the math. But real quick, let's just see the live reading on there. So remember, zero it out. There it is on the Klein, zero it out, clamp it on, there you go, 14.5. I guess I was wrong, not 17. Whoops, messed up my math. 14.6, so let's do max, 14.57, 52, min, 14, yep. So remember again, so if we switch this around, the numbers would be going the other way. So the min's actually the max, and the max is actually the min. But look at how close those numbers are together. That's only, you know, 1/10 apart. That's pretty consistent. To me, that just gives you confidence in the reading. It just lets you know that, you know, Klein ain't fucking around with their electronicals. So that's a good solid, you know, that's normal volatility. Let's switch over to the Ames from Harbor Freight. I know AV, I'm stealing your word, but whatever, get over it. All right, so remember, zero it out. Oops, zero it out. See, it's jumping all over the place. So What a piece of shit. And there you go. 14, 15. Let's do the min max. 14.8, 15.04, 14.88, 15.04. See, it just keeps getting bigger and further apart every time, right? Every time. Look at that. Oh, I guess that min max mode, it shows you both, maybe? It keeps flipping between the two. Anyways, in live, there you go. Just jumping around so much. Jumping around so much. Also, not the same reading, so it's going between 14, high 14s and low 6. See this? Zeroed out still at 0. Look at that. That's just good guts. And 14.48. Not bad. So if we clamp it the other way, you can see now the number goes positive 14.4. Go it this way, negative 14.4. Take it off, still pretty darn close to 0. Not bad. Let's pull up the Ames. We left it zeroed out too. Whoop, light turned off on us. Look at that, now it's at 0.05. Hold on, let's see if we jiggle it. Turn the light off. Oh, weird. Oh, it's something on the control board that when you push buttons it changes. Oh, now it's back down to 0. Huh. Oh. Whoop. What in the... Well, that ain't good. Did we just break it? Oh yeah, don't hold. Never mind. Look at that. Oh wow, look at that jump. 0, 3, 4. Oh, 5. Oh boy. Look at that. 14.9. Yeah. I don't know, guys. It's reading about 0.3 of an amp higher. That seems sketch. Why? I don't know. Also, so if you want to hold the amperage, you can. It's got to hold. The on the Klein, look at that, zeroed out, still at 0.03, just hanging right in there. If we want to zero it out again, we can. There you go, 0, 0, 0. Our light turned off on us. If you want to hold that light button on the side, you just click it again and it holds it. But I want to see what it's doing. Max, min, max. Ah, so close. Just gives you more confidence. I'm not sure which one's right, but one of them is. Again, I have to have another voltmeter to find out which one's actually right. All right, thanks guys. Bye.